Hi, I'm your host Jared Landry, and this is This Week in the National Football League. And this week in the National Football League, a lot of really cool things went down, and I ate so much clearance romaine I might explode.
Colin had his chance to be here.
Recently, the Browns, as if by magic and not a terrible coach with an amazing roster, have been on fire. With King of Football, Baker Mayfield, playing up to par with the best quarterbacks in the league. And this week, they got their shot at the man who kept them in the dumpster for years. Well, it did not go well for Hugh Jackson and the Bengals.
Yesterday is a wrinkle on your forehead.
After Jalen Ramsey called Josh Allen trash in the beginning of the season, Josh Allen got his comeback in thrashing the once great Jaguars defense, which really grinds my gears that the NFL is becoming a quarterback playground just when we get the next best trash-talking quarterback. Speaking of the Bills and Jaguars game, a fight occurred.
Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared of you, but all I really want is to hold you tight, treat you right, be with you day and night, baby, all I need is time.
This week, Jacoby Brissett had it with Drew Luck stealing his spotlight and tried to get him murdered.
Just killed a man.
After destroying the Eagles in the first half, the Giants let Saquon Barkley rest for the remainder of the game, and then also didn't throw it to Odell Beckham Jr. when he was literally being guarded by a Philadelphia civilian. I'm sorry, but this romaine has made me angry this week. People work their whole lives and build a resume to become an offensive coordinator because it's so difficult, but then why is it so hard to throw the ball to the best receiver in the league against a team starting their fifth-string quarterback? Oh, maybe you want to run down the clock if only you had a monster running back who makes your Swiss cheese offensive line look like the Iron Curtain. Playing against the lowly Cardinals, Phillip Rivers broke an NFL record by completing his first 25 passes. And say what you will about a cigarette taking 7 to 11 minutes off of your life, just ask Larry Fitzgerald about how playing for the Cardinals will take your entire working career off of your life. Joey Bosa went on to say that he spent 3 seconds trying to start a Phillip Rivers MVP chant, and I've spent my entire week trying to figure out if that's praise or an insult. This Thanksgiving, the only interesting that happened was at the Gruden family table after John gifted Amari Cooper to the Cowboys as a Thanksgiving gift to his brother. Jay will repay this gift with a Christmas gift of his own when he shows John what a winning record looks like. It's time for
Twitter questions.
My first question is from @Bronte. Would you rather fart super loud at a funeral or sneeze on Richard Sherman? I'd rather fart super loud on Richard Sherman because he'd cover it so well no one else would hear it. @CIK Productions says, what's the most disgraceful thing you've ever seen on a football field, besides Jermaine Ifedi still having a job? Shut your mouth about Jermaine, he's great, but it's gotta be this. Another from @CIK Productions, if you could use a Fortnite trap on one player in the NFL, who would it be? I'd ice trap Sebastian Janikowski.
You're up.
@CIK Productions also says, I'm feeling quite lonely since Karen left me for the third time. Can you show me a play that will bring a smile to my face?
I used to dream. Wayne Bridges, what up? The money and the cars and girls. Let's go. But now I see Big Phil, we made this shit happen, homie. History in the making.
From @FearlessGuster1, who is worse, O.J. Simpson or Aaron Rodgers? They're actually very similar. They both are hard to catch when they start running, and by the end of the season, Aaron Rodgers might just behead Mike McCarthy. FearlessGuster1 also asks, who does Aaron Rodgers hate more, his family or his fake agent in those State Farm commercials? I think he hates his real agent who made him do those commercials in the first place the most. In the Seahawks-Panthers game, Chris Carson landed a full flip after a failed hurdle attempt. Let's take a look at the athleticism behind that in this week's Sports Science. On Sunday against the Panthers, Seahawks running back Chris Carson ran past the first down to flip the field for Seattle. With only Eric Reed in his way between him and the end zone, Carson fell head over heels with the idea of hurdling the defender in front of him. My name is Scott Rogowski, and this is Sports Science. Math with me and get some science. Carson couldn't clear the 6-1 read, clipping him just enough that he flipped into Week 12 glory.
One day I'll fly away.
Now Carson clips Eric Reed's shoulder, and given that the average human head is about 9 inches, Carson's vertical jump would then be 64 inches, which shatters the standing vertical record by a full 19 inches. Talk about putting a twist in the record books. Carson's flip takes 0.73 seconds, meaning that Chris was flipping at the speed of 82.2 revolutions per minute. Only thanks to Earth's gravity at 9.807 meters per second squared did Carson find the ground after one flip and not 82. Now there's some math to flip you inside out. After this week's loss to the Vikings, the Packers have now lost 8 straight road games. Here to talk more about that, a Packers fan. Actually, Jared, I'm an owner. And after starting 0-3, the Texans have now won 8 straight games. Here to talk more about that, a Texans fan.
Not one doubt in my mind that we will fail.
Blake Bortles is gonna be benched next week for Cody Kessler even after this tremendous throw.
I used to dream. Wayne Bridges, what up? Money and the cars and girls. Let's go. But now I see Big Phil.
In 2 straight weeks, the Broncos have beaten both the playoff-bound Chargers and the division-leading Steelers, and they could be back in the thick of things.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, and to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a love.
The game of the week this week was the thrilling matchup between the Seahawks and Panthers that ended with a last-second Janikowski field goal and included Chris Carson's flip, a spot-on AI impersonation, and Christian McCaffrey running for 2.5 more yards than the Giants allow Saquon to run. This has been This Week in the National Football League. As always, I'm your host, Jared Landry. Don't forget to tweet at me and ask me questions if you have any about the football that happens this week.